Coming to my house. R&R. Just gotta dig a hole to put the engine in. One way to get my truck on tilt.
Are there any treasures in there?
No, just the ramps, I think. We're gonna find out. So it's the dead of winter, as you can tell by the snow remnants coming in the door, and we got Brian to pull his motor out of his 67 Bug. And we had taken this apart, what, 6-8 months ago?
Yeah.
And we knew that the cylinder heads were kind of screwed, literally screwed. They got screws in them where somebody broke the studs off, and then they tried to drill them out, and then they broke the drill off. So right where the cylinder, right where the stud's supposed to come out is a mess, and somebody went and put some self-tapping screws in right there, those guys, and 2 spots, lower ones like that too. So that cylinder head's beat up, and we're doing that one because just because, yeah. So we're gonna go pull it apart. It's been running good. It smokes a little. No,
100% good.
just had some leaks though, right? Push rod tubes.
Yeah.
That's what. So push rod tubes. We want to repair that cylinder head. We got 2 good used cylinder heads, actually for free, and they're single port 1500s from the same guy I got the CB350 from. He was moving out, and we went to go stop by, see if he still had the cylinder heads that were on Angie's video during his yard sale video, and he said, yeah, they're out front for free in the free pile.
In the free pile.
So we went and got those. They look like they're fairly decent, and we're gonna go double check them. We're gonna go clean them up and get them installed. So here we go. Lily does, you know it, but he's gonna be doing all the wrenching. I'm gonna be pointing for the most part.
Fantastic.
So we're gonna start tearing it down and getting all the heat exhaust system off of it, and the fan shroud and everything. We get it all the way down to the cylinder heads is what our goal is, and a clutch disc and some other stuff. So we're just gonna take the outer levels off first. You can take the belt off.
Okay.
Top pulley off. And I'll start jumping on the exhaust. You can start taking that stuff off. We'll tag team it. So he's just taking the hardware out of the blower housing. He's gonna flip it up on there. We gotta get the thermostat disconnected, so that tin has to come off. It's already drained out of oil.
And snow.
So it's good. You're good. You can get this cover off, and then we gotta disconnect that thermostat because that goes through the jugs and up to the housing. Let's get that bottom plate off, and you see how beat up the push rod tubes are. So you want to get new ones. That one's bleeding right there. So this is the thermostat we have to get out of the way. On the other end of this is a rod that goes through. So it's a 13 and a 13. You may want to crack this loose first.
Yes.
So you can, because you got to spin that out. And the ratchet that you had with the 13, probably just leave that out.
Okay.
Get that set up. Actually, anything that we're kind of using, just leave out on the bench. Dodger. No owls allowed. You should be able to push that in, and then it'll slide out. There you go.
Ta-da!
And now you can take that and just unspin it. It should unspin if it's really hard. Yeah, if it's really hard to stop because it would have broke, but we got it. Thermostats are getting hard to find for VWs.
And expensive.
So if you guys see these,
Send them our way, please.
this is what it is. Like this one's kind of beat too. You see how expanded that is? When it's cold, it should be collapsed like that, and then as it warms up, it expands and opens the veins on the back of the blower. So these are getting hard to find. They're like $100 a piece, and real ones, you know. I don't know if they're making a knockoff yet, but you know how well some of the knockoff stuff works. And you got connected still.
This back to that. It is all.
Your battery terminals. Both of the screws are out already?
Yep.
I think you might be ready to lift it off. Hold it. These are, should be able to clear that. Should go like up and to the side, but hold on. Larger carb. Let's go up. Take the shed out before
Okay.
we. Actually, you might, if you already got it. Yeah. I think it was right there, but we'll take it off anyway. I don't want that guy getting a hit, so we're gonna unscrew that. Right. Should be able to come right out of there. There you go. The rod's gonna dangle. Yeah, dangling rod.
Dangling rod.
We're in.
Sounds like a radio show.
I think it's got some blow-by happening too. It looks a little on the dark side. That cylinder is. Yeah, but we're pulling those heads off anyway, so so be it. May have a leak between the jugs. All right, so next thing we're gonna go grab is gonna be the intake. We take it all together. Just these two on each side.
These tins on each side.
Yeah. Sometimes a 1/4 inch setup is good to go with, just because the sockets are smaller. So 1/4 inch. Yeah.
That might be it. That's probably better.
Well, getting around the intake is kind of. You should be right around there somewhere.
Right around about there.
It's gonna be
Nope.
9.
It was. Shucks. And that one's 11. No.
Alright, so you can pull the plug wires right out too.
Can you pull the intake while the motor's still in the car?
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, but you can. Because it's hard to clear the deck lid in the back. Deck lid off and all, but sometimes it's just faster to, especially if you have other stuff to do. Kind of like to put a speed wrench. I gotta put a speed wrench on it, and you can kind of feel when these are snapping. And you're kind of one-handed, so you're not overdoing it. If you get a little bit of, you know, play out of it, you get it going a little bit. Soak it, do whatever you want to do. But if you, once you get a little bit of play out of it, just keep working that play, and it'll self-clean itself. A lot of these have like a self-tapping screw in them. I don't know if this one does or not. It does not. So it kind of, it's like its own little mini tap. They'll clean themselves up, and a lot of times you break them. But. If they feel fine coming out, yeah, you just keep on going. You don't have to work it at all. We just had this part not that long ago, so it's not like it's going to suffer from too much hardware.
And it leaked all of its oil on it, so everything's
been pickled. You should be able to grab that intake with the carb. There you go. Just give me this. There you go. You can grab that whole thing. The fuel line still connected for the
Yep. So,
So
got it.
you take it off. You take it off the carb. Probably gonna be too big. The hammer. I'm gonna relocate that to the trunk, to the under the car this time.
What?
That would mean we'll just get rid of the whole thing.
Yep. Yes. Yes and yes.
Alright, sounds like a plan. You may. Oh, hey, it goes. So, we're trying to get the tins off, and we're having problems with some of the screws. And, like, the ones out here are kind of hard to do because if you hit it with a impact driver, it's floating out here in tin, so you don't get a really good solid hit, so it doesn't work very well. So now I can kind of get at it with a pair of vice grips sideways. And get them like that. Get it free. And where's the other one up here?
Right back here. Where you can barely get vice grips on it right there.
Yeah, that one's gonna suck.
Yep.
So I think we're to a point you can get the heads off. I would flip it up on like a 45 right there. Pop this valve cover. You're gonna unbolt the rocker assembly. Get that out of the way. You probably just set it down in the pan.
Okay.
And then you get all the head bolts all the way around.
I learned this trick watching Musty One video.
Maybe 14s. Kind of, yeah. Do a little on each one of those. Let it. Because one of them's gonna be under pressure. I see signs of any pulled studs, so that's good. You put it right down the valve cover.
Or next to the valve cover.
You could take the push rods, put them in the valve cover too. And the head bolts are going to be next. Get set up for that. Wouldn't hurt to spray those.
They're a little crispy.
Yeah, hold it. Let's go spray those down. Wow. So he's got all the hardware out of the cylinder head. I'm going to go try tapping the first one off. These have not been off in who knows how long. They come off easy, maybe a real pain in the ass. But I kind of like to start with some kind of malleable hammer. And I grab it by the bail. I'm just going to try knocking right around the exhaust ports a little bit, kind of tap it free, and see if we can get it to move free of the jugs. Sometimes the jugs come with it too, but are the tins removed? That should be okay. That jug, that cylinder's coming with it. Probably going to be best off, if it doesn't want to come out easy, to pull it right off, and then we can get it off once the head is off. Let me grab another screwdriver and see if we can lightly pray on that. If not, we're just going to start snapping fins. We are getting rid of those heads though, right? So
Yeah.
we want to err on the side of the jug.
Yes.
Sounds like a title to a. Yeah. Yep. It's coming with us. You can kill it. So. Alright, we're live.
Oops.
I was going to give it one last ditch effort. Just throw that anywhere. So I just want to get that jug that was stuck to the head out of it. Now that it's off of it, you can rock it back and forth a little bit. I've already started hitting it, and I was like, well, let me go turn the camera on. So I just came over, started tapping it back and forth, and it was able to rock it off the cylinder head. And it's just all the crud that's been built up around it that held it. All that crap. That one may have had a little bit of blow by. Yeah. It's like I see all the darkness here. It's kind of going around and losing it. And that's what that varnish kind of built up. Well, that'll be an improvement on the next one. Bath time. Get all the heebie-jeebies off of it. Just all the mud that's been caked up. Which cylinder was it? I think it was that one right there. See the lip of it? Looks black right there.
The hair lip.
Right there's where it didn't have a good head seal. Losing compression around it, and that's the exhaust when it fires. It leaves a mark like that. Right there. It's the other half of it. So it was leaking exhaust right out there. You didn't think I was going to get in there, did you? Something like that. We're all oiled up. There's a joke in there somewhere, isn't there? That'd be straight.
Darren, do you remember when I thought I was going to drive my car year round? Do you remember trying to talk me out of it?
Yes, this is.
It'll be fine.
He doesn't know we're being
Well, that
recorded.
other guy that we rescued on the side of the highway, he's driving one year round.
thing I like about this stand, it's got a pass through. So you can get the clutch alignment tool out of it. And kind of winding it down for the day. And I kind of took the camera and did little snips and clippets of what we're doing along the way. Not everything's included, but we got it pretty much buttoned up. There's a new clutch disc on it. Everything's been washed. This motor was apart 6-8 months ago. We did a bunch of stuff. We got it down to the cylinder heads. We realized that we needed cylinder heads, so we just kind of put it back together and acquired those and doing what you see here today. Oil cooler. It's got a couple of new seals on it. Took that apart. Redid those. And what else? All the pistons are cleaned up. Cylinders are cleaned up. Oiled. Washed. Blown out. Oiled. Wiped down. Oiled again. And the jugs feel pretty good. They have a little bit of staining down on the back side, but there's no ridge or anything on them. Cleaned all the carbon off of them. There, you can see it. If you look down in there, you can kind of see where it looks like it's pitted, but there's no actual pit there. You feel it. There's nothing there. It's just the metal is stained in those locations, probably from an old time of sitting with no piston there, and it's a little bit of corrosion. But it's been polished up and been running since. And we're gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna do it pistons and cylinders on it. We're not taking the bottom end apart. That feels fine. It's well within the spec for the end play. Didn't have any oil pressure problems or anything before, so again, we're just trying to put back a nice original motor with heads that aren't damaged like the old ones. So these still need to be cleaned up, but these are supposed to be new rebuilds, and they are VW heads, so, and they are 1500s also. So that's gonna be about it. Tomorrow I'll get back on this. We got parts drying. Only we are waiting on is pushrod tubes. I have a used set. We would much prefer to have a new set. He thought he had one, and apparently does not. Those are the old ones laying down in there, and then again I have a set somewhere that we dug out, but again they're used, they're not new, and that was the number one reason what this thing was leaking from. Those guys. So you can see about getting a new set. My neighbor might have a set too, so we're kind of chasing down a couple of avenues. Everything's painted. All the tins are painted. And it'd be nice to let them sit for a day or two so we don't have to handle them and get fingerprints all over them. They'll stay fairly decent. That's the stock VW color palette right there. Just a gray and black. And whatever raw metal pieces stick out. And the muffler heater boxes and main shroud are doing the same. They're all cleaned up and waiting to go back together. The exhaust probably lasts about a year or two before it goes back to rust, but it'll look decent for a little while. That's it, guys. I'm gonna go shut it down here. We'll continue on this one, putting it back together and getting it running and all that kind of stuff. So again, thanks everybody for watching, commenting, subscribing. I really appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one. Later.